Hi, today our topic is quantitative techniques and methods in operation management semester 1. So today we discuss first about the what is quantitative techniques and its applications, importance and limitation in organizations. So decision science is the application that uses scientific approach and solves the management problems. It also helps manager to make best decisions in organizations. So decision science includes a large number of mathematically oriented techniques. These techniques can be either developed within field of decision science or taken from other discipline in organizations. So decision science is a recognized and established discipline in business. So decision science is a technique which is mainly used within business for increasingly their efficiency and productivity in organizations. So the various survey of businesses many indicate that they used decision science techniques and most rate the results to be very good. So decision science is also known as operation research, quantitative techniques, quantitative analysis and management science. So it is largely used in daily routine of most program of business organizations. So in these blogs our content is meaning and definition of quantitative techniques. Number 2, role of quantitative techniques in decision makings. Number 3, characteristics of quantitative techniques. Number 4, scope of quantitative techniques. Number 5, nature of quantitative techniques. Number 6, importance of decision science and quantitative techniques. Number 7, limitation of quantitative techniques in business decision making. Number 8, applications of quantitative techniques. So first of all we discuss about the meaning and definition of quantitative techniques in organizations. The term decision science quantitative techniques QT operations research describe the discipline that is focused on the application of information technology, that is IT, for well-versed decision making. So quantitative techniques are those statistical and programming techniques which support the decision making process, especially related to industry and business related to organizations. So QT qualitative techniques takes into considerations the elements of qualities such as use of numbers, symbols and other mathematical expression in organizations. So QT basically helpful enhancement to judgment and institutions. So quantitative techniques assesses planning factors and alternatives. Techniques may be defined as those techniques which provide the decision maker with a systematic and powerful means of analysis and help based on quantifiable data in exploring policies for achieving predetermined goals. Quantitative techniques are mainly appropriate to problems of complex business enterprises. So quantitative techniques can be considered as the scientific approach to managerial decision making. This approach starts from raw data and after manipulations or processing information is produced which is valuable for making decisions. So the main aim of quantitative analysis is the processing and manipulating of raw data into meaningful information in organizations. For increasingly the use of quantitative analysis, computer can be used as an instrument. So according to C.R. Kothari, quantitative techniques may be defined as those techniques which provide the decision makers with a systematic and powerful means of analysis and help based on quantitative in exploring policies for achieving predetermined goals in organizations. So quantitative techniques are the devices developed on the basis of mathematical and statistical model in organizations. So role of quantitative techniques in decision makings. The major roles of quantitative techniques are, now I am discussing about this. It provides a tool of scientific analysis. Number two, it's offering solutions for various business problems. Number three, it enables proper development of resources. Number four, it supports in minimizing waiting and servicing cost in organizations. Number five, it helps the management to decide when to buy and what is the procedure of buying. Number six, it helps in reducing the total processing time necessary for performing a set of jobs in organizations. Now we discuss about the characteristics of quantitative techniques in organizations. So, characteristic of quantitative techniques: decision makings, objective oriented approach, scientific approach, interdisciplinary approach. Number one, decision making. Decision making or problem solving constitutes the major working of operations researchers. Managerial decision making is considered to be general systematic processes of operations research (OR). Number two, scientific approach. Like any other research, operations research also emphasizes on the overall approach and takes into account all the significant effects of the system. It understands and evaluates them as a whole. It takes a scientific approach towards reasoning. It involves the methods defining the problem, its formulations, testing and analyzing on the results obtained. Objective oriented approach. Number 3 point. Operations research not only take the overall view of the problem in organizations, but also endeavor to arrive at the best possible, say optimal solutions to the problem in hand. So it takes an objective oriented approach. To achieve this is necessary to have a defined measure of effectiveness which is based on the goals of organizations. So this measure is then used to make a comparison between alternative solutions to the problem and adopt the best one in organizations. Number 4, interdisciplinary approach. No approach can be effective if taken singly or singly or is also interdisciplinary in nature. So problems are multi-dimensional and approach needs a teamwork. For example, managerial problems are affected by economic, sociological, biological, psychological and physiological and engineering aspects. A team that plans to arrive at a solutions to such a problem needs people who are specialists in areas such as mathematics, engineering, economics, statistics, management, etc. in organizations. For trading articles for commerce students, so it also scope of quantitative techniques. The following are the scopes of quantitative techniques that I am discussing about now. Scope of quantitative techniques: industry, business and society based, developing economics, agriculture industry and organizations. So number 1, industry. So industrial management deals with a series of problems starting right from the purchase of raw materials till the dispatch of final production in organizations. The management is ultimately interested in overall understanding of the method of optimizing profits. Therefore, it takes decisions on scientific basis. Operations research team has to think about various alternative methods to produce goods and obtain returns in each cases. Not only this, the operations research study should also suggest possible changes in the overall structure like installations of a new machines or introductions to automation, etc. So for optimizing the results, many industries have gained immensely by applying operations research in various tasks. For example, operations research can be used in the fields of manufacturing and production. So blending and product mix, vendor, inventory management for forecasting demand, sales and purchase for repair and maintenance jobs, for scheduling and sequencing planning, and also for scheduling and control of projects. Number two, developing economics or is applications to both developing and developed economics, but a lot of scope exists in developing economics for building up an operations research approach toward planning in organizations. The basic idea is to orient the planning to achieve maximize the growth per capita income in minimizing time. So considering the goals and restrictions of the country. So poverty and hunger are the core problem faced many countries of Asia and Africa, as you know that. Therefore, people like statisticians, economics, technicians, administrators, politicians, or agricultural experts can work in conjunctions to solve this problem with an operation research approach. Number 3 point, agricultural industry. Operation research approach has a huge scope in agricultural sector populations. Explosions has lead to scarcity of food. So optimum allocations of land for various scope crops in accordance with climatic conditions is a challenge for many countries. Also, each developing country is facing the problem of optimal distributions of water from several water bodies. These areas of concern hold a great scope for scientific research. Operation. Organizations, big or small, can adopt operations research approach effectively. Operational productivity of organizational have improved by using quantitative techniques in organizations. So techniques of operation research can be applied to minimize cost and maximize benefits for decisions. For example, a departmental store faces problem like employing additional sales girls or purchasing an additional van, etc. Number 5, business and society. So businesses and societies can directly be benefited from operation research. For example, hospitals, clinics, etc. Operational research methods can be applied directly to solve administrative problems such as minimizing the waiting time of outdoor patients, as we all suffered. So similarly, the business of transport can also be benefited by applying simulation methods. Such methods can help to regulate train arrivals and their running timing. Querying theory can be applied to minimize congestions and passengers waiting time. So these methods are increasingly being applied in LIC workplace. It helps in deciding the premium rates of various policies. Industries such as petroleum, paper, chemical, metal, processing, aircraft, rubber industry, mining and textile industry have been extremely benefited by its use. Now, nature of quantitative techniques. Nature of quantitative techniques described as quality of solutions, goal-oriented optimum solutions, use of methods require willing executives, reduce complexity. Number 1, quality of solutions. Quantitative techniques helps in improving the quality of solutions but may not necessarily result in a perfect solutions. It helps to find the best possible solutions to the problem under considerations. Number 2, goal-oriented optimum solutions. Quantitative techniques is sensitively about the optimal theory. It aims at identify the best possible courses of actions or solutions under given constraints. Number 3, use of methods. Quantitative techniques uses models built by quantitative measurements. It also derives a solutions from the model using one or more of the diversified mathematical techniques. A decision can be arrived either by conducting experiments on it or by mathematical analysis. The objective is to assess the organizations to determine the policy. So the action scientifically and optimize its results. Number 4, require willing executives. Quantitative techniques needs a group of individuals having diverse background and skills to evaluate and analyze the cost pros and cons of the alternative solutions of the problems. So willingness to participate is such experimental process is must for the executives. This will empower the decision makers to the objectives in selecting the best possible solutions in organizations. Reduce complexity. Quantitative techniques attempts to minimize the complexity of business operations by helping managers to correct difficult functions or processes. It also attempts to innovate easy solutions of costly and complicated functions operated to actual experimental practices. Now we discuss about importance of decision science or of quantitative techniques. Better control for larger organizations. It is practically impossible to continuously supervise very routine work. A quantitative technique approach comes handy to gives an analytical and quantitative basis to identify the problem areas. So quantitative techniques approach is most frequently adopted with production scheduling and inventory replenishment. Better system, for example, better identifying the best location for factories or decision on whether to open a new warehouse, etc., were often being studied and analyzed by quantitative approach. So this approach helps to improve the existing systems such as selecting economical means to transportation, production, scheduling, job sequencing, or replacing old machinery in organizations. Better decisions. Quantitative models helps in improved decision making, thereby reduce the risks of wrong decisions. Quantitative approach gives the executive an improved insight into the problem and thereby improve decision makings. Number 4, better coordinations. Quantitative helps in coordinations or of different of various divisions of an organization. Now limitation of quantitative techniques. Now we discuss about this. Dependence on an electronic computer. So quantitative approach is a mathematical in nature. Quantitative techniques try to find out an optimal solutions to a problem by taking all the factors into consideration. The need of computers become unavoidable because these factors are enormous, huge. It requires huge calculations to express them in quality and to establish relationship among them. Non-quantifiable factors. One of the drawbacks of quantitative techniques is that very provide a solutions only when all the elements related to a problem are quantified. Since all relevant variables may not be quantified, they do not find a place in quantitative techniques methods. Wrong estimation in organizations. Certain assumptions and estimates are made for assigning quantitative values to factors involved in quantitative techniques so that a quantitative analysis can be done. If such estimates are wrong, the result can be misleading in organizations. So please take care about this. Do not make a wrong estimations about quantitative techniques. So involves time and cost. Operations research is a costly affair. An organization needs to invest time, money and effort into quantitative techniques to make it effective. So professionals need to be hired to conduct constant research for better research outcomes. These professionals must constantly review the rapidly changing business scenarios. Implementations. The complexities of human relations or behavior must be taken into account while implementing of quantitative decisions, as it a very delicate task. So applications of quantitative techniques. Use scope and applications of quantitative techniques in managerial decision makings. Applications of quantitative techniques: finance, budgeting and investment, physical distributions, marketing, purchasing, procurement and explorations, personnel, production, research and development. Now, finance, budgeting and investment, long range capital requirements, cash flow analysis, investment portfolios and divided policies, credit policies, credit risk and procedures for delinquent account, procedures to deal with complaints and claims, marketing, selection of product, its timing and competitive actions, cost and time based decisions for advertising media, rate of calling an account and requirement of number of salesmen, etc. Market research effectiveness, physical distribution, size of warehouse, distribution center, retail outlets, etc., and their locations also, policy for distributions, purchasing, procurement and explorations, buying rules, determining purchase timing and its quantity, policies for binding and analysis of vendor, replacement policies of equipments, personnel, manpower replacement, forecasting, recruitment policies and assignment of jobs, suitable personnel selections, consideration, age and skills, etc. For each service center, determining the optimum number of persons, productions, proper allocations of machines, of schedules and sequencing the productions, optimum product mix calculations, selecting production plant site along with its location and design, research and development, alternative design, evaluation and its reliability, develop projects, control multiple research projects to coordinations, require determinations of time and cost. So thanks for watching my MBA channels. My humble request is, if you like my channels, please